Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., all rights reserved.
You're listening to the man who has received so much recognition for his work on behalf of small business that he had to get a bigger mantle for his awards and a wider door for his head.
You have reached the transmitting signal for the Big Giant Head. All Big Giant circuits are busy right now. Please stay on the line.
Mr. Humble, Jim Blasingame.
Welcome back, 34 after the hour. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Mr. Humble at your service. It's always a pleasure to continue to be with you. We just tuned in. Welcome aboard. We're glad you did that. If you've been listening already, we consider that a sign of high intelligence. And you're going to know, you're going to find out what I mean by that when you find out who's here. Joanne Black is back. Joanne is a longtime member of our Brain Trust, more than 5 years as a member. She's the author of No More Cold Calling, and she's one of our top experts in putting our best foot forward with customers. Joanne Black, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Jim. It's always a treat to talk to you.
Good to have you back, as always. Joanne, one of the things that human beings are hardwired to do is to be self-referential. We're always, the word I, the pronoun I, the proper is something that we like to use a lot. I, me, my. Those are three of our three most favorite words. When it comes to customers, those should be used very judiciously, shouldn't they?
Absolutely, and we use them way, way too much and not think about the customer's perspective. Mm-hmm. So when I ask this question to people a lot, I'll say, why should I work with you? And that's a question we all need to answer. We need to be clear about that because that's how we differentiate ourselves from the competition. Of course, as you and I know, when we've been referred, that's a huge differentiation.
Right.
But we still need to answer the question. And when I ask that, I hear people say to me, well, I'm experienced. I'm professional. I've been in business for 25 years. That's the other one. We have numerous awards. We're local. We do everything we can to help you succeed. We provide solutions. This is my favorite. We do business with integrity and commitment. Mm-hmm. So when I hear those, I say, so what?
Start running.
Well, yeah. And so what? What does that say? And Jim, I believe the reason we do that is because we haven't been taught any other way, because we need to connect the dots between what we hear the client saying and what we provide. This is really, really hard work, right? Mm-hmm. And if we
one of the things, Joanne, that I've done before, whenever someone has asked me that question, I've said, well, to be honest with you, I'm not sure that you should. I don't know enough about what you need yet. That's why I'm here. Would you please tell me? Let's talk about where your pain is, where your opportunities are. What are you excited about? What are you frightened about? And when you tell somebody, I'm not sure that you should work with me yet. I don't know enough yet. When you tell them that, they'll start saying, wow, this guy's kind of interesting.
I do say that. They'll say, well, what can you do for me? They'll ask it that way, and I will say, I really don't know if I can help you or not. And then we talk about it. But a lot of these statements beginning with I or we, we're programmed, and it could be even after the conversation. We don't know how to when we ask the questions you just mentioned, and we really learn about the client and what their problems are and what we can do, we still revert back to that rather than saying, here's what I heard. Based on that, here's what we can do, and you describe it. But then you make the connection, and you clearly define the return on investment that customer will get from working with you.
Right. Well, and the one thing though, Joanne, you get to the point. That's what I like about you. You cut to the chase. A lot of people won't do that. They won't ask that pointed a question, will they?
They won't ask because
they are thinking.
they're thinking, but they won't ask most of the time. This is what I found, because they're afraid they won't know the answer to the question. And especially for newer salespeople and and people, those of us owning our own business who may not have grown up in sales, that we know so much about our product and our service, but we don't know about the questions to ask. And even though we know we should ask them, we're thinking to ourselves, what if I ask the question and they talk to me and then they ask me another question and I don't know the answer? So they kind of know level one, and that's where they stop, and so that's when we revert back to the we and the I statements.
When we come back after these messages, I'm gonna suggest something to Joanne that would be a way for you to begin with the we or I, but still pull it off, still accomplish what Joanne says. Joanne, give us your website quickly, please.
NoMoreColdCalling.com.
Joanne Black and I will be right back. 20 till. Stay with us.
Saved it, but don't ask me why. Love never seems to last you.
Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., intended for the private use of our audience. Except as otherwise provided by copyright law, all other copying, redistribution, or publication without prior written consent is prohibited. All rights reserved. Prohibited. All rights reserved. Prohibited.